Anthony Albanese won't say if budget deficit will be higher under a Labor government as criticism mounts over the opposition's spending commitments. He spent Mother's Day campaigning in the Sydney seat of Bennelong. Live to Trudy McIntosh now. Trudy, how confident are Labor of winning the seat?
Kenny, they're up against history here. Labor have only won the seat of Bennelong once since the seat was established back in the 1940s. That, in fact, was Maxine McHugh in 2007. With the Rudd landslide, she managed to defeat the then Prime Minister John Howard. We've seen Anthony Albanese 3 times so far this campaign in this seat in Sydney. It is held by the Liberals on a margin of just under 7%, but there's no incumbent here with tennis great and Liberal MP John Alexander hanging up his boots. He won't be running at this election, and so that's why Labor believe with their popular local candidate, the ex-Ryde Mayor, that they can get over the line. We've seen Anthony Albanese today visiting markets on Mother's Day in and around Ryde. He met with locals, took some selfies. He also announced today a modest $11 million pledge to fund playgroups across the country. It's Labor's policy platform and pledges during this campaign that are in the spotlight for another day. How do they plan to pay for them, and will it mean higher budget deficits under a Labor government compared to that of a coalition? The Shadow Treasurer Jim Chalmers indicating to the Australian yesterday that it's not about the quality, it's not about the quantity of spending, rather it's about the quality, opening the door to suggestions that this could in fact be up to a $10 billion budget deficits higher under Labor than the coalition. Here's Anthony Albanese pressed on this.
All of our costings will be released as the opposition in the usual way. We don't know what the other side is. Think about your question. Your question is a comparator between Labor and the coalition. We have no idea what the coalition commitments are. They haven't even had their campaign launch yet.
Anthony Albanese argues Labor shouldn't be releasing its costings before the coalition, and also before the coalition has even held its campaign launch. Labor did it this time last week in Perth. The coalition has yet to do so. The expectation we'll see that in another week's time from Scott Morrison. We've seen during this campaign a bit of Me Too when it comes to policies. Labor promising to match policies we've seen announced by the Prime Minister. He did so on the matter of diabetes funding, also for the seniors health card. It has racked up. So far, these total more than $1.5 billion. What is the plan to pay for this? I put that to Anthony Albanese. Labor has promised to match around $1.5 billion of coalition spending commitments, things like the diabetes funding, also the seniors health card. Will you announce offsetting savings?
We'll announce all of our costings, like every opposition has, in the usual way.
There's been focus this week on the pace of the two leaders' campaigns. Scott Morrison likes to hit 2 or 3 different electorates at 2 or 3 different events each day. It's a different pace under the Labor campaign. They maintain that that is perfectly fine. There's nothing to see here. We saw this one event this morning in Bennelong. Anthony Albanese now won't front the cameras until this crucial second debate tonight. The format really interesting here. Scott Morrison and Anthony Albanese will be able to grill one another during this debate. There won't be any voters in the room, and there's an interesting kicker. Unlike the Sky News People's Forum, they've agreed tonight to not actually have any paperwork in front of them. They're not going to be able to look down, Kenny, for an easy answer, an easy attack line. It's all going to have to come off the cuff.